Hi, my name is Bob Bickmeyer. My Christmas story begins back in the 1930s, many years ago. My Christmas began, in my memory, when my father brought home the Christmas tree. He would invariably put it in a bucket of water in the backyard until Mom was ready to decorate the tree. Oftentimes, when they brought it was in a bucket of ice. So of course we had to wait for that ice to melt before Dad could mount it in the tree stand, which he did, at which point Mom, my sister Claire, and I would decorate the tree. It was a joy to do. When we were finished, Mom put the finishing touch on. She covered the entire tree with angel hair, which made that tree, I believe, the most beautiful tree on the block. That angel hair really did the trick. But then it continued on Christmas Eve. We had a tradition where we'd go to Grandma's and Grandpa's and meet with our aunts and uncles and a multitude of cousins. But en route to Grandma's, Claire and I, sitting in the back seat, would count the Christmas trees in the windows of homes, our goal being to reach 100. And we always did, if my memory serves me right. And back in those days, there were no outdoor, or very few outdoor trees adorned with lights. So they're mostly in-house trees that we counted. Anyway, when we arrived at Grandma's, we were ushered into the dining room with the rest of our cousins. That was separated from the living room by a large white sheet in this wide doorway because Santa was going to come, and we could not see Santa come. So we sat there impatiently until we heard Santa's jingle bell. That was the signal that he was leaving. So we ran into the living room. Each one found his stack of toys and opened up your gifts. And it was a great tradition, a wonderful gathering for Christmas Eve. But then eventually, we went back home. Mom and Dad tucked us into bed to await the arrival of Santa Claus in our house. That was the really special part, coming to my house. And my sister and I, our belief in Santa Claus equaled our parents' belief in God. And as we grew up, we were taught the real reason for the season. We celebrated the birth of baby Jesus. And it was called the Christmas season, not the holiday season, as the secularists would like to call it these days. And it's still the Christmas season in my book. Time went by, and 60 years later, I was Santa Claus. I was retired, and I decided to help Santa by being a substitute Santa in a small local mall. And since it was a small mall, there was not a long assembly line of children with their list of toys. They came in to me intermittently and also stopping by to see me with teenagers, even adults, to chat with me. What a glorious time I had that Christmas. The first one I remember was about a 3 or 4 year old little girl, so sweet. I asked her what she wanted. She asked me some questions, and I had a nice little time with this little tot. And as she left, she said, "I thought you were fake." She said, "But you're real." And it warmed my heart. And I'm sure she had a magical Christmas then, believing in Santa Claus. Following her visit, I remember that of two teenage boys. They told me they were 15, and I asked them what they wanted. They each wanted a motorcycle. It's a pretty tough chore for Santa to bring them a motorcycle, but we won't go into that. Following their visit was a young man came over to me and wanted to shake my hand. Well, the elf photographer took our picture. He explained to me that he did not have custody of his children, but he wanted a picture of himself shaking hands with Santa to show his children. So as he was given the finished product, the picture, he looked at it, grinned, looked at me, mouthed a thank you, and departed. I thought that was a nice story. Next, I can remember the 3 teenage girls. This is my favorite story. They come up to me, and the first one asked for a sports car. Teenagers, right? And the next one came, and she wanted to top her. She asked for a mansion from Santa Claus. Can you imagine? Anyway, the third girl came up, and she whispered in my ear, "I'd like a job for my dad." I filled up. I'm filling up now, talking about it. A job for Dad. I told her I'd see what I could do. So as they walked away, her two friends asked her what she asked Santa for. And she said, "That's between me and Santa." And I firmly, sincerely believe that her father did find a job, because you see, that night Santa prayed that he would. And so ends my Christmas story. Santa's prayer to God.